Hey everybody, welcome back. Sim Update 3 is out 1.5.27, and I've gone over some of the neat features of it in previous videos, but I will go over that again here today. First thing we want to talk about is how to update it properly. Now, I'm a Microsoft Store guy, and I still don't actually have the update, but as we wait, what we can do is get ready for updating it. Now, the proper way to update it is to clear your community folder. Now, the easiest way to do that is come here into your packages folder and simply rename your community folder. I just always put an underscore at the start of the name. And then what I do is I'll create a new community folder. And then when you go in there, it's empty. And this is my actual community folder. So what I'll do is I'll let the sim update. And then once the update has done and I've started and run the sim and closed the sim, I will then delete this second community folder, the dummy one, and I'll rename this, my actual community folder, back to community. And then I have everything I had before, and I've done a clean update and install. Asobo is going to roll back your DLSS file, so I would recommend updating this as well using DLSS Swapper. Click on the Microsoft 2024 icon here, come here into DLSS, click on the version number, and select the latest version, 3.10.3, click swap. In the DLSS frame generation file, I would do the same, whether you're using native RTX frame generation for the 40 and 50 series cards in the sim, or whether you're using the frame gen mod like I do with my 3080 Ti, swap that out. I also swap out the FSR 3.1 file because sometimes I do use FSR 3 frame gen in the sim. And then here for DLSS preset, I would select preset K. One thing to know, if you come in here and there is a down arrow right here, like this one next to your 3.10.3 version, that means you have to download that before you can swap it out. What you do is click here on the library icon. Then there's a really cool button over here that says download latest. Just click on that. It's going to download all of the latest files for each of these categories. And then you'll have them available to swap out. Next up, there is a new driver. I do all my drivers in the NVIDIA app, and I would recommend updating to this driver 581.08. It's no coincidence that it came out today, the same day as the Microsoft flights. Well, I think it came out yesterday, but there's no coincidence that it came out right around the same time as Flight Sim 2024 Sim Update 3 was released. Couple things. If you come here into the graphics settings, I would click on Flight Sim 2024. If you've updated your DLSS files like I just showed you in DLSS Swapper, come all the way down here and make sure under driver settings that the DLSS overrides are all set to use the 3D application setting, because if you set them here after you've set them in DLSS Swapper, they might conflict. So you want to use one or the other. There is the new smooth motion for RTX 40 and 50 series cards. That's essentially like lossless scaling frame generation. It is a software-based frame generation on the driver side. And personally, I would not use it. What it is, if you have a 40 or 50 series card, what smooth motion is, it enables frame generation for games that do not have it implemented in the game itself. In Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, we do have it implemented in the game. You can turn frame generation off in the sim and run smooth motion. You're probably going to get some flickering, and you're not going to get as good performance as you do with native frame generation. So I would recommend, if you have a 40 or 50 series card, don't use smooth motion, but we'll talk about that when we talk about the driver. The other thing that I remembered as I was fooling around here, if you go into system and you come here to performance, right here, this automatic tuning, I normally have this on. I think I must have turned it off goofing around one time trying to figure out different settings and whatnot. Automatic tuning in the NVIDIA app is basically a safe overclock. It gives you, like you can see here, 68 megahertz and 200 megahertz on my VRAM tuning, which, I mean, it's a little bit, it's not a big boost. It's a little tickle of your driver, of your GPU settings, a little bit of an clocking. But the cool thing is it does give you a little bit more performance, but it also does not invalidate your warranty. So this is free performance, one click. It's very easy. Just click here to turn it on. Last thing on the NVIDIA app, supposedly the game filters have been fixed with this latest driver version, but I think they've said that in about the last, 4 or 5 driver versions, and it hasn't been fixed. I don't use the game filters. I don't know if they've been fixed yet, but that's what they say in the notes, that this has been fixed. Remains to be seen. Now, because this is a sim update and a major update, I would recommend clearing your shader caches. The easiest way to do that, come to your desktop, right click, come here to NVIDIA control panel. When it opens here in the global settings, come down to shader cache size. Set this to disabled. I normally have it at 10 gigabytes. Set it to disabled. Click apply, and then restart your PC. Once you've restarted your PC, come into C users, whatever your username is, then app data, local, NVIDIA, and I'll put this path in the description of the video, and then you'll see DX cache and GL cache. Just come in here, select all, and delete it. Come back here to NVIDIA. Same thing in the GL cache folder, if I can manage to click on it. Just select everything in here and then delete it. And then what I do, I go back here to app data, then I go to local low, NVIDIA, and I see if there's anything in here. In my case, this is empty. This is an old DX cache folder location. They do this all the time. They move the locations around, so you might find some old ones. Then I'll come back to app data and look in roaming and NVIDIA. And I'll see this here, the computer cache. I would also select all of this and delete all of that. The last thing I would do in terms of caches, I would come here and type disk cleanup. Click OK. And then what you want to select is DirectX shader cache. Click that to delete, then click OK. It's going to ask you if you want to delete the files. You click delete files, and then that's done as well. Then I would come back here into NVIDIA control panel, click shader cache size, reset it to whatever you had it, in my case 10 gigabytes, click apply, and then you're set. You've got your shader cache re-enabled. Next, here we are in the sim. Come here to the settings, come to online, and come down here to your rolling cache. Now, if you click here, it's going to show you where your rolling cache is. That's the easiest way to find it. I have a custom install location for my rolling cache. You may not. In any event, just click here. And what I would do is copy this onto a notepad, and then you've got it. Then close out of the sim, and then copy this location where you have your rolling cache file, open an Explorer window, paste it in here, and there is your rolling cache. And then you want to highlight that and delete it. One more thing we want to delete while we're at it is our scenery indexes. Now, scenery indexes are simply cached files that tell the sim where certain scenery packages are located and in which order they should be loaded. And what happens is over time, this information may get outdated, it may get corrupted, and it can cause all kinds of problems, from crashes to desktop to scenery issues. So now with a fresh install of Sim Update 3, we want to clear this out. Now, in order to find it, you go to your users, your username, app data, local, packages, Microsoft Limitless, and then local cache. And when you, in your local cache folder, click here on scenery indexes, and you'll see everything in here. Just highlight it and delete. Now we want to relaunch Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Come here into the settings, come back here to online, and come down here to your rolling cache. Now we've deleted the rolling cache file. If you have a custom rolling cache size like I have, 128 gigs, it might have reset this back to 16, which is the default value. If it did, what you need to do is click into this box and type in whatever number you want for your rolling cache. Now, talking about Sim Update 3, one of the coolest things obviously is to be able to download the content onto your local hard drive so you don't have to stream everything. You come here into the marketplace, come to my library, and then let's say you have a plane that you like, say the Dakota, type Dakota, and what you can do is highlight that aircraft and then click here on download. And this will come over here into your download section. You can do this with aircraft, you can do this with scenery, and some people have said that the performance is notably better with the aircraft and scenery downloaded. Let's say you're flying from one particular airport to another, and you download both of those airports and the aircraft. Essentially what you're doing is what we did in Flight Sim 2020, is flying from a downloaded airport to a downloaded airport in a downloaded airplane, and you're just streaming the data, you're streaming the scenery. So you're basically back to what we did in Flight Sim 2020. Other neat features, if you come here into the settings in your global rendering quality, now if you come all the way down here, we have airport services, parked aircraft, and aircraft traffic. So now you can separate the ground service vehicle quantity and variety from your parked aircraft quantity and variety. So if you want either a good number of aircraft at gates, you can have that without having to have the service vehicles running as well. And you can do the same with the characters, the people around the airport, like the fuelers, the, loaders and those types of people around the airport as well. Taking a quick look here at the release notes, a couple of things that we talked through already is some of the new content and features, a lot of stability and performance updates, general bug fixes. Now, one of the things that I'm sort of disappointed that they didn't fix in the aircraft sections, I don't see anything on the ATR. I don't see anything on the WASM crashes for the IndyBuilds Airbuses. I was really looking forward to possibly some ATR updates. That didn't happen. Now, if we come down to glass cockpits, they've done a lot of updates to the glass cockpits, which is wonderful, including the G1000, 3000, 5000, the G3X Touch, the Primus, the Pro line. They've done a lot of work, which is really nice. They've done some flight planning and EFB updates. The EFB can work nicely at times, but it's also got a lot of bugs. Even in the beta, I don't know if maybe these are changes that have rolled out after the release of Sim Update 3, and some of the things that I saw in the beta are now fixed, which would be wonderful, but I'm not quite sure. You can see the streaming. This is a big one. The areas around airports sometimes not loading properly and staying blurry. That is a big one from the Sim Update 3 beta, where people noticed that there were some issues with runways that would not load, and they'd be basically like just unfocused, and they looked really, really bad. Bunch of airport updates, which is nice. Some of the individual airports, some missing airports. There's a lot of updates to the live traffic, and there were some issues in the beta with this that have been fixed or were fixed in the last, let's say, 2 beta versions before this release. Hans Hartmann did some work on the Twin Otter, which is wonderful. I still wish they had released the elongated nose as opposed to the snub nose, but that's just me. Great to see this aircraft getting some attention. It's a wonderful, wonderful airplane. This is a huge update, obviously, Sim Update 3. Performance should be better for you. Performance was markedly better for me in Sim Update 2 than it was in Sim Update 1, the original release. And performance seems even better now in Sim Update 3. So Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is definitely coming into its own. I hope you guys enjoy this release. I hope this process helps you get a nice clean install. One last thing to remember, once you've cleared your caches, your shader caches, your rolling cache and all that stuff, remember it's going to take a couple of flights before everything kind of rebuilds and your system is kind of at a normal state. So the first hour or so that you fly, after you do all these changes, you can expect some stuttering and some issues, but the changes, the clearing out of the caches and everything that we've done here is going to give you better performance over the long term and cleaning out the scenery index. Hopefully this is going to be a great update for you. I hope everybody enjoys it. I've enjoyed it in the beta. Looking forward to your comments, your experiences with Sim Update 3 in the comment section below. I hope everybody's doing well, and we'll talk soon.